So I'm pretty late to the party when I say this, but Atlanta is an anthology. It has been since season 2. For the most part, it did follow the story it established in season 1, but after that, kind of like did its own thing. I personally never minded. At the end of the day, I am a consumer, and in my taste, it aligned with it pretty well. Like, as long as the show is enjoyable, I could honestly care less. I always enjoyed the sprinkling of social commentary here and there. I love the take on uncomfortable subjects that not many people are willing to have. But for episode 4 of season 3, people were not rocking with it. You know, they did not show up at all. The cast was not featured at all in this episode, and it was another deep dive into a very serious topic regarding race and, to the same respect, capitalism. We followed a main character by the name of Marshall Johnson, where race is in the forefront of his world. When I was done with this episode, the first thing that came to mind was, I know there's gonna be people who do not like this, for the simple fact that it explores certain aspects of race that evokes feelings of discomfort. And I believe rightfully so. Race is not an easy conversation to have. And I don't know why I must preface this, but even I, a black person in America, had a hard time thinking and conjuring a way I can talk about this episode without making it seem like I'm pushing a forced narrative. But I also wanted to talk about it, so I'm in a dilemma here. And so I think the easiest way to really discuss this episode is to acknowledge the parts that it had done really well in relation to the theme it was following. The whole ordeal involving Shaniqua, which, side note, I thought the name and the character itself was very stereotypical, but obviously it was the intention of the show, and for those who probably got rubbed the wrong way by it, I mean, they clearly missed the message and why the show probably got some hate around this time around, but it was definitely the intention of the character. And if anything, Marshall's whole attitude towards the whole thing was modest at best. And if we're being honest here, the staff writers could have easily made Marshall a very, let's just say, hateful character, but they didn't. And if that had been the case, I think it would have taken away from the overall message. Like, everyone would just fit in their little boxes and the characters wouldn't be as dynamic. Because at the end of the day, the character was just facing a conflict that was way beyond him. The man was bothered by the woman Shaniqua following him around, jeopardizing his life, and not only that, he already had his own plate to deal with. The man was divorced and dealing with the troubles of marriage. And so all throughout the episode, Marshall was burdened and overwhelmed by the sins of his ancestral roots that was brought up by the people in his circle, and especially Shaniqua. And to be fair, I don't think he fully realizes or grasps the reason for him living in this racial climate predicament until the very end of the episode when he met the guy named Ernest, which more on that later. He sits him down and not only spoon feeds Marshall, but also the audience, if they didn't get it already, why things are the way they are. And I feel like for the most part, he hit it right on the nail. Regardless of where you stand, I feel like that's something that would be hard to argue with. And so even outside the context of race, there is a cause and effect to everything. And so I thought it was pretty amusing that a lot of the side characters were bringing up their DNA results, and to me it was like an attempt to distance themselves from minority groups. Like, yeah, I understand you because I'm this percent of a different minority group. And I was like, thinking to myself, it's not the same. Like, it really isn't. And so back to the character of Ernest, I was thinking to myself, is it like a parallel to the Ern that we know? Like, the man just up and like offed himself into a pool. I was thinking, like, is there a narrative parallel? Because I think everything in Atlanta has been quite intentional. Like, I don't think they would just do that for no reason. Like, it happened out of nowhere. Like, nothing even alluded to the idea that he was gonna do it, and it just happened. So I was wondering if like there might be some metaphor going on there. Like, I can't imagine the Ern that we know just offing himself out of the blue. It probably means something, or perhaps I'm overthinking it. I'm open to that idea too. And quick trivia, apparently it's the same actor who played the guy in the boat in 3 Slaps, but his name was White. So I don't know, maybe same actor, maybe a different character, who's to say. So above all else, I thought this was a pretty great episode, and despite the critics, I can't wait to see more episodes like it. Like, we have a whole nother season to worry about. Like, this is really nothing. And even if the next season is like this, I don't mind it. At the end of the day, I'm gonna enjoy this show regardless. It has been great and it's going strong. And that's honestly enough for me. And that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. And I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. See ya.